So I've been wanting to quit poppers for a while now, and I go like a few weeks at a time of not using them, but then I'll either have a hookup or I'll be watching like a really good porn, and I'm like, man, I wish I could have some poppers right now. So I went and bought some, and I gooned out all morning, and here we are. But that got me thinking about like when was the first time that I ever tried poppers, and it was during a threesome, which happens to be what this video is about today, is a recap of all my threesomes, which are only about 4 of them because I don't like threesomes at all. I'm the prize here, and you should be paying attention to me. So whenever I do threesomes, I feel left out, just like how I feel with all my friends, just completely left out, but that's a different story. Today, we're going to be talking about all of the threesomes that I've been in before, starting with the first time, and 2 of them were my ex. So we're going to start with the first time that I did it, which was, so we met this guy. He lived in the apartment that we were in. He was actually like one of the leasing agents, and he leased the apartment to us, and he clearly knew we were gay. So he gave me his number, and my partner at the time was definitely interested in open relationships and threesomes and all those things. And I wasn't at the time, but I was like, let me just like give him this one thing and have a threesome with this dude. So we became friends with this guy, and we hung out with him a few times, and nothing really happened. But then I don't remember how we got into the conversation, but we invited him over and we ended up hooking up with him. That was my first threesome, and it was the first time that I also realized I didn't like threesomes. So the fact that I had 3 other threesomes after this is insane, because I don't know. I just like to do things that I don't want to do for some reason, I guess. And so we were hooking up in the bed and everything, and they were both paying attention to me at first because I was like the bottom in this situation, unfortunately, but they were paying attention to me, and so I was loving it. And then all of a sudden they start like making out, and I'm like, oh, like I don't think I like this very much. Like, this isn't like, I was literally just laying there, and my boyfriend was like, come over here, get in with us. And I'm like, I don't want to get in with you. I don't want to make out with you guys at the same time. Like, it just didn't feel right to me. I'm definitely like one-on-one, and it just felt weird. And so I just didn't really vibe with that situation. And he had a small dick too, so I didn't really care. And anyway, but we continued to hook up. I kind of just laid there because I was over it at that point, and that's kind of what happens with me. Like, when I'm over something, I'm just not interested, and you can read it all over my face, my body language, everything. And I was just laying there, and they both kind of caught on like, oh, he's not really into this right now. And so we kind of ended it. And the funny thing is, we also ended our friendship with this dude because we asked him to watch our cats one time. And so he stayed over at our apartment to watch our cats. And I guess he had invited somebody over and fucked them at our apartment. And I didn't really give a shit. But like, my ex was so pissed, and he kind of controlled everything at this time. So I just like went along with it, and we're no longer friends with him anymore because he was pissed that dude like slept with someone at our apartment in our bed. So that was kind of weird. Like, ew, did you wash our sheets, bro? You know? And so we didn't really see him anymore. He kind of like side texted me for a while and tried to like hook up with me without my boyfriend, but I was like not into it. And then he got a boyfriend, and then they were texting me on like Grindr and stuff. Cause side note, my boyfriend and I had a Grindr together, so that way we could find threesomes, even though we never really did them. We did it one more time, which I'm about to tell you about. They would like side text me on there and try to like do a throuple thing. And I was like, dude, I didn't even like the threesome with you and my own boyfriend. Like, why would I want one with your boyfriend? And his boyfriend wasn't cute to me, so I was definitely not interested. Like, if you're not cute to me, I'm not going to get turned on. And so that would have been like a complete waste of time. And so the second threesome, we enter poppers. And so this was not that long after this first threesome. So he got me while it was hot. Let's say that. Because if it had been like a year or 2 after this, I would have been like, no, I'm good. So I was like, all right, let's just try it one more time. So we went on Grindr, and we started talking to this dude. Well, actually, no. I got that wrong. He started talking to this dude. He didn't show me him at all. He just all of a sudden is like, oh, this guy's coming over for a threesome. I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. Like, and I should have known better. I should have looked and asked to see this dude's profile, because when I tell you that I was not interested is like an understatement. And and just so we're aware, my boyfriend knows me so well, or my ex-boyfriend knew me so well that for him to think that I would be interested in this dude anyway is insane. And so I was super pissed. But anyway, this is what happened. So he invites the dude over. He's like, all right, I'm going to go downstairs and get him. And I'm like, okay. And as he's coming through the door, this man is like, I'm sorry. He like mouths that. And I'm just like, oh, great. Like, if he's saying sorry before he even brings him in, it's like, bro, why did you even bring him in if you know that, like, you're going to be sorry because you know I'm not interested? And sure enough, he comes in, and then there follows the man. And he was, like, not my type at all. Like, at all. He was, like, stick thin, and that's already like a complete turn off for me. Like, I'm not interested in that. Like, I want more of a man. And if it's like, if I'm looking for somebody that is like smaller than me or whatever, I still want them to have like something. Like, he was just like this stick. And I'm not shading anyone. That's his body and how he was born, and nobody can help that. But it's just not my thing. And so I was like, all right, whatever. Maybe it'll be fine. Like, I don't know. Maybe they'll both just pay attention to me again, and then like I won't be left out and it'll be fine. But no, it was not fine, because we started all hooking up. And again, my boyfriend is like doing things with him more. And then so I immediately already get annoyed. So that was like one notch on the belt here. But then the dude wanted to start paying attention to me because duh. And so he started to like make out with me. Like, making out's whatever. Like, I'll make out with you, but it doesn't mean I'm going to be turned on. So we were like making out, and I was like, okay, maybe this can be okay. But then I started to notice that like my dick was not getting hard at all. Like, completely flaccid. And that's unlike me, especially at this time, because I was like 24. I was literally like hard from the minute I woke up till I went to bed. So that was really odd. And that had never happened to me before when I was hooking up with someone. And my ex actually had problems with ED. So I was like, oh my God, am I already getting ED problems at 24? But then I just realized that like, no, dude, you just don't like this dude at all. Like, you have zero attraction to him. It doesn't matter what his cock looks like, his ass, nothing. Does not matter. And so we're like making out and stuff, and I'm like not getting hard. And he noticed, like, hello, like he noticed. He was trying to touch me and stuff. And he's like, are you okay? Like, you're not getting hard. And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. I don't know. I'm just not really into when my boyfriend's not paying attention to me. And so it kind of just got me in a weird headspace. And so I made up some bullshit instead of telling him like, no, dude, I'm just not into you. You're gross to me. And so, he ends up just leaving because he could tell that this just like wasn't the thing. And so then my boyfriend at the time was like pissed at me because we didn't finish again. And I'm like, bro, you were the one that said sorry when you walked through the door. Like, you knew that I did not want this person. So why you even like did that in the first place? Like, if you had like, when you went downstairs and saw him and in your head knew Mitch is not going to like this person, like, wouldn't you think like maybe you just tell him then? But he was too pussy to do that. Like, he should have just said like, hey, sorry, like my boyfriend is not going to like you or be into you. I mean, like, or just make something up and say, oh, my boyfriend just texted me, he's shitting, or he has a stomach ache, or some fucking bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't understand why you would even put me in that situation when you know, one, I don't even like threesomes, and two, I'm not going to like this person. So make it make sense. But oh, I totally forgot about the poppers thing. So this dude also brought over poppers. And so this was the first time I ever tried poppers. And so they gave me the poppers when I wasn't getting hard, and they're like, oh, maybe this will like make you get in the mood or whatever. And that still did not work. Like, I loved the feeling of them, and that's, the trajectory of my life after that. I actually didn't do poppers for a while again for years later, but then when I did do them again with a future ex, he introduced me to them again, and I really liked them, especially because I was like bottoming, and I was like, oh wow, I can actually kind of bottom with these. But they did not work during this threesome. So that was like a popper fail. That was a total threesome fail. It was just a fail. And so after this, no more threesomes. Actually, no more sex either. We didn't have sex for about 2 years before we broke up, and we were together for 6 years. And we just didn't have sex because I didn't want to bottom anymore. And that's all he wanted to do was top. He never bottomed, and he wanted to do it like almost every day. So I ended up just like giving him head every single day instead. But he still like cheated on me because he wanted more. And I understand that, I guess. At the time, I didn't understand it. But now looking back, it's like, well, I mean, he did want something, and we all have needs, and I wasn't giving it to him other than blowjobs. We ended up breaking up, and like right after our breakup, I kind of went on like a full-on slut spree, and I was like hooking up with everything that fucking moved. And that's pretty normal, I feel like, because like we had been together for 6 years. I got with him when I was 20 and we broke up at 26, and I wanted to like explore a little bit and live my life and try different guys, because he was like trying different guys our whole relationship while I was just at home not. And so this next story actually is pretty interesting because it involves this guy and his boyfriend that I met on MySpace. Like, I didn't meet his boyfriend on MySpace. I met the guy on MySpace back in the day. Like, we were like 12 or 13 messaging each other on MySpace, and he was like straight at the time, but would always talk to me. And then he started to like flirt with me and send me nudes and stuff, and then confessed his love to me, blah, blah, blah. But then I kind of just like ghosted him, you know, when I was like 19 or whatever. And then we stopped talking for a while. But then years later, we reconnected and we continued to talk here and there. And then he hits me up that he's going to be coming to Vegas. And I was living in Vegas at the time. So him and his boyfriend were coming to Vegas to hang out. And they were staying at the Cosmopolitan, which, if you don't know, the Cosmopolitan actually used to be condos when they were first built. And so they have a balcony, which we'll be talking about, and a kitchen. So that's pretty cool. So I'd never seen that. And so I went and stayed with them for like one night. And that night was super fun. We knew that we were going to fuck, because the MySpace dude and I had been wanting to fuck since literally we were 13. So this was like a weird thing, like 14 years later. And I'm like going to hook up with this dude and his boyfriend. Like, low key, I wish it would have just been me and him, but you know, whatever, you know, like dude wanted me real bad. And like, I could tell that they needed other people to hook up with. Like, they clearly were, you know, open, but you know, maybe not as interested in each other as they thought. They're actually still together, so I guess it still worked out. So we're in the hotel room, we're hanging out, whatever. We go get drinks, we go around Vegas, and then we come back and we start hooking up. And so I first actually start hooking up with his boyfriend. So I'm like blowing his boyfriend, and then dude is eating me. And then we all of a sudden end up on the balcony. And so I'll set up the scene for you. So his boyfriend is sitting in a chair and I'm sucking his dick. And then dude is behind me doing all kinds of things. And then, you know, I was a bottom at the time. So he fucked me on the balcony. We were literally on the balcony, totally could be seen by somebody. And we were just like pounding away on the balcony. And it was so fucking hot. That time I actually enjoyed it. I did enjoy it. Actually enough to be in a throuple with them. So afterwards, they left. We all continued to talk. Like, we all kind of had a really good connection. It was like a really good time. I was texting each of them separately, and they both expressed that they would like me to be in a throuple with them. And I was pretty down, really, honestly, because I wasn't really happy with just like a monogamous relationship. I just had too much trauma with that. And so I was like, oh my gosh, like maybe a throuple could work, because then like if I'm annoyed with one of them, then I can go hang out with the other and vice versa. And it might just work out, because it's not like just two people all the time. And so like maybe you wouldn't even need to do an open thing at that point. You know what I mean? And so I thought about it, but then they live in Vermont, and I was like, I don't really want to live in Vermont. Like, that just doesn't seem like my vibe. And I don't even think they like it, because he's told me multiple times that he hates it there. So I'm like, yeah, I'm not moving there. And so we kind of just like drifted apart. Like, his boyfriend came back actually one time by himself for a conference or something, and we like went and got drinks and stuff, but we didn't actually do anything. But it was cool. We like were friends for a while, and then it kind of just drifted off. And me and the dude from MySpace still talk here and there, like on Instagram and stuff. And we tell each other all the time how we thought that was so much fun and we should hang out again and blah, blah, blah. But it's never happened. And hopefully it does at some point, but who knows? If they ever move somewhere else other than Vermont and are still down for the throuple, I'm kind of down, honestly, because at this point, I'm like, I don't know that I can be with one person, and I also don't want to take the time to get to know anybody, and I already know them, so it might just work out. So that brings me to the last threesome story, which I've actually told somewhat before in my Is It In Yet LOL video, which I talk about a dude with a micro penis. But this is not about a micro penis. This is just about the threesome with the dude that had a micro penis. Anyway, so this one was one of my really good friends at the time, and I was still in Vegas, and then it was with this other dude who I had been friends with my ex, funny enough. And like my ex actually, oh my gosh, I totally forgot. So when my ex and I broke up, he was texting me while I was at work, and he was like, we should have a threesome with this dude that I'm talking about here. And that's when I was like, I was over him. I was planning on breaking up with him for like a month, and this kind of just like was the moment. And I hate that I like said it over text, but I mean, we continued the conversation later, but I had to let it out. And so when he said that, I just got so grossed out by him, and I was just like, I'm done. Like, first of all, I don't want to have a threesome again. I just don't. And like, why are we going to do it with this dude that's like our friend? I don't know. I just was like, this didn't work out the last time. We're not doing this again. And so I basically was just like, we're breaking up right then and there. And then he sends me this video of him setting some of my clothes on fire in our fire pit in the backyard. And he was like, if you break a Scorpio's heart, this is what happens. And like me and the girls in the back room of my job were like dying laughing because that was just so ridiculous. It's like, oh my God, so dramatic. But anyway, so this next threesome was a few years after the throuple one, and I had become friends with this dude, and we went out to the club. We saw the other dude that like my ex had wanted me to hook up with him that one time and why we broke up. And we all started getting drunk together and like making out on the dance floor and all this stuff. And then so we were like, well, let's just go back to my place and fuck, or do whatever. And so we go back, we're all on the couch like making out. Then we go in my bed and we're making out. And then all of a sudden, me and my friend were making out. And then we look at each other and stop, and we're just like, oh no. We're besties. Like, let's stop this. So we didn't actually like, we had a threesome, but it wasn't like me and my friend doing anything with each other. It was just like the other dude doing stuff to us and us doing stuff to him, but together, I guess. So we're like on the bed, and dude has me and him on all fours, and he's going back and forth eating our ass. That was fucking hot. I'm not gonna lie. That was fucking hot. Like, if I could just do threesomes where it's like, where one person is paying attention to two of us instead of like two people just getting together while the other kind of just sits there and twiddles their fucking thumbs. You know what I mean? And so that was pretty hot. And so then we're like doing more stuff, whatever, continuing this situation. And then my friend just like falls asleep out of nowhere. And we're like dying laughing because it was just so fucking funny, because he's literally like laying there like hooking up with us, and then is just like snoring, and we're like, okay, well, guess that's over with him. And so me and him, honestly, like we honestly had like sexual chemistry from the minute that we met. Like, I used to buy weed off of him when I first moved to Vegas, and that's actually how we met him. And I would always go buy the weed from him, and it would just be me and him, and we always had such chemistry. And looking back, if I had been different and not cared, that, and just knew, like, knowing that my boyfriend was cheating on me the whole relationship, like, I should have just been a dick and cheated on him too. And so I should have cheated on him with this dude, because I liked him and he was fucking hot and he wanted me bad. Like, he told me from the get-go he wanted me. He did not give a fuck that I had a boyfriend. Like, I can't even believe that. And so we go out in the living room so my friend can just like sleep, and we are like hardcore making out. I'm not talking just like little cute little making out. No, like we were like, this was like Mr. and Mrs. Smith kind of vibe. Like, we were slamming each other against the wall. I broke a few pictures. It was a lot, but it was fucking hot. And so we were like just like making out all over the place, and then he like ate my ass some more. We didn't fuck because like I wasn't prepared for that, so I was like, no, we're not doing that. But we just like broke all my walls and fucked up everything, and then went to bed. And that was the extent of that threesome. So it wasn't necessarily like a threesome per se, but it was 3 of us, and one of them passed out. I've decided that I just am not cut out for threesomes. I'm not cut out for monogamy either. So it's like, what do I even do? Do I just get into a throuple? Do I just continue to just hook up with a bunch of people? Do I get into a relationship and then make it open right away? I don't even know at this point. Because I don't want to date anybody right now. And I also don't ever want to do a fucking threesome again. Unless both people are just paying attention to me. Okay, that's all I got for you today. Okay, boys, catch you in the next video.